Alright guys, let's go ahead and do a message for my Capricorns or Capricorn cross-watcher. Feel free to reverse this if you need to. I wrote a lot and I got a lot of different scenarios. I got some singles here, I got some people in relationships. I got it being where it's not necessarily you in a relationship or it has to be your message at all. It could be somebody connected to you that you see this, you witness this. So take it as it resonates. I'm just going to read mostly because this is a lot to remember writing down. Here's what I'm getting, but before we begin, the song that comes to mind for this video is Love Locked Down by Kanye West. Which is, I mean, it can be interpreted. That's the beautiful thing about music and things like that. Really, one can interpret it whichever way it kind of hits them mostly. But it's kind of a song about protecting one's emotions in a relationship, or suggesting that another protects their emotions, their life, the emotions of those connected to them when being in a relationship or when considering it, things like that. So the first scenario I wrote down is some of you may be off-put by someone who is pushy, possessive, or clingy, okay? Whether this person is too clingy with you or with another, and you just happen to recognize it in their relationship. Some of you may even just prefer to stay single for this very reason, because you don't want to have to answer to someone for every little thing that you do or want to do, or have to bring to them anything that you want to do, or even bring them with you anywhere and everywhere you want to go. Or if that doesn't resonate, you know someone who is like this, and this is just confirming why this person does not get into serious relationships anymore. Unless you know somebody who is in a serious relationship and they can't go anywhere without their partner, or their partner always has to be with them, always has to be calling them, always, like, no space, no respect for boundaries here. And you may see in a relationship where it's kind of like, maybe even there's some like things that a person should pay attention to, but they're not really seeing it. Like maybe this person checks their phone all the time, and you may, unless this is you, it's happening to, or you're the one doing it. I don't know. It's just something I got. Someone here may notice that happening, and say, I think that's kind of unhealthy. I mean, to each their own. If that's what two people agree to, I guess that's okay. But I think somebody here can tell that another person doesn't really like that. They're only dealing with it because perhaps they're afraid to be alone, or they don't think that they can get anyone better than who they currently have, or something like that. So it's almost like willing to dismiss certain behavior, or allow it, or overlook it, or not address it due to fear of being alone. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a scenario I got. Or someone is alone, and this is why they stay alone. You know, if this is you, maybe someone on your mind, somebody here could be alone and they love it. Like they're not sad at all to be single, and they could love being single, because that when they think about relationships, at least the ones that they probably have experience with, this is what they end up like, where they have to answer to people all the time. They feel like they're with their mother or father, you know what I mean? I might as well just crawl back up in the vagina and do the process all over again if I'm basically answering to someone. Are you my mom or my dad? You know what I mean? Got a little passionate there. I hate my, look, this is just, my hair's always in my face. You know what I mean? Where it's just like irritating. Exactly. Like someone here gets irritated by love and relationships because now they may be open to it, but thus far in life, they have yet to meet someone who doesn't try to control them, possess them, cling, you know? It's like clingy is like static electricity, and nobody likes that shit, you know, unless people do. Maybe everybody likes their own things. So maybe some people do like static electricity, but this is someone who doesn't. And if somebody's in a relationship here, they're not liking it. They may just be putting up with it because maybe they've been with somebody a while, or maybe they don't want to be alone again, or maybe they view this person as the best that's they've ever had, or maybe, I don't know what it is. It could be a number of different things. Yeah, but I don't know, deep down, like if somebody's being real with themselves, they themselves really don't like this. Or it's somebody on the outside here who is noticing this in somebody's relationship, or in a connection that someone they care about has with another, and it's like, I don't want to get involved. I really don't want to get involved. You know, I might say a little something here and there. I might not say anything at all. I don't want to get involved. This is their life. This is their journey. But ultimately, feels like there was somebody a little bit clingy or a little bossy or a little possessive, a little untrusting, a little, what's that called when you're too, like, invasive? That's probably not the word I'm looking for. I don't know. Let's keep going. So, some of you or someone you know could be with a person, or somebody you know, is with somebody who isn't as happy as they could be, but maybe choosing to just kind of settle in a way for whatever reason, which is kind of what we just covered. Like, I'm not saying that this isn't something where two people love each other, but genuinely for somebody here is probably not with the right person, but is convincing themselves that they are, or they have been convincing themselves that they are, because it's like fear of being alone or being alone again or unable to find anyone this good. So we basically covered that. Somebody here may be with a person where they're not actually, like, the passion's even gone. Even if it's something that just started not long ago, it's already, aspects of it are starting to dwindle, because this is someone who's feeling a bit caged in a way, or like they can't go hang with their friends without their partner wanting to be there, or ask them questions, or call them the whole time they're with this person. Or they may even say all day, like, oh yeah, I just want you to have your space, but like, do they actually mean that though? Or are they just saying that, but their actions are actually proven that this is a partner who's very untrusting or possessive or clingy? Either way, they kind of go hand in hand here. Now, it could even be where somebody just isn't really, like, they're not actually happy with somebody. They feel a bit suffocated, like they always have cameras on them, or they're under a microscope all the time. Somebody has to know where they're at all the time, or where they went, or they're always watching everything. And some people like that, though. I mean, some people like that. Really, I know. Some people like it. Really, when I say everybody's got their own type person, that's legit. I'm learning that. Yeah, some people really like that shit. So if it's like it doesn't have to be this, but if it's like especially certain lifestyles, you'll see that in, and there will be certain roles that people will play in relationships, and we may call ourselves things. And I got this for an Aquarius message, and I ended up deleting it because I'm going to re-record it, but power struggles, not power struggles, but power exchange. There we go. Power exchanges in relationships, as long as they're consensual. There you go. So that may work for some people. Maybe some people love being more submissive and having a partner who's very controlling, but I don't get that here. I'm just going to tell you. Unless somebody's watching the wrong video, because I don't get that here. I get that someone may act like they like it, but eventually it's going to get on their damn nerves. Unless it already is, and someone's just still dealing with it because they don't want to be alone, don't want to be alone again, or they feel like they'd be worried about money, or how they're going to take care of themselves, or how, I don't know, or they can't find anyone after that. Like, I don't know how to be alone. I mean, I don't know. People go through a lot of shit. So I'm getting that. Could be somebody acting like everything's great, but family, friends, even strangers, I mean, they might pick up on it, but for the most part, maybe they don't really know how, you know, just not actually perfect it appears to be, or just, we'll say this, as solid as it appears to be. It may be quite very, very controlling. Why can I not speak? All right, another scenario I got is, for some, it could be where you may want to make a connection deeper with someone, or vice versa. You can reverse all of this, or apply it to someone you know. Like, you may want to deepen something with a person, but they aren't ready. To them, it may not be long enough. Like, maybe you want to get married to somebody, or you want to have babies or move in, and they may not want to. But it might be that the person is like, look, I need a little bit more time. This is a little quick for me. But some people can also say that, see, it just depends. Like, communication would be huge here, and like establishing our boundaries, which I will also get to. Because some people can say that, and it's been like years and years and years, and they're just saying that, well, this is why we haven't got married, and this and this. Like, I don't see the point, or I don't believe in it. But really, it's because they're actually afraid of commitment. you know. Now some they're not, and they just really don't see the point. But some it's because they're afraid of commitment, just being real, and they will not admit that, you know. Just it is what it is. But again, some people don't want to get married. Not everybody wants to get married, but then they should come right out and say that. I don't want to get married, or I don't want to get married again, or I don't see the point. I think it's bullshit. Like whatever this person individually feels, they should just say that instead of making their partner feel like eventually it'll happen for them. But that's not for everybody. Like basically make sure you're not getting led on, or vice versa. Someone may want to make sure with you you're not leading them on. Or, you know, it could be someone you know, and you may even be, I mean, you may even be happy to hear that. Like some of you, let's say it's a family member of yours or a friend of yours, and you know that the person they're with is kind of, they come off as clingy or possessive. I feel like I've gotten this before. I'm having deja vu. And you may be like, I don't know if you've said anything to the person you care about, whoever they are to you, but you've definitely thought it where you're like, man, they need to be careful, take their time with that person, you know, just, you're not thinking anything about it, okay? It's not like you're being negative. You're just, you see some shit that maybe they don't see because they're right on in it. You know what I mean? You're not giving nothing to this person. Who they're with is giving them plenty. You know what I mean? You're not giving them anything like that. You just see it from a different point of view. You're like, well, bird's eye view over here. But either way, you just like, what's the rush? You know, to you, that's what you could be thinking, vice versa. And you might be surprised that this person, they see it a lot more than you think they do. So you might be happy to hear what I'm telling you now, and realize that whether this person's telling you or not, they're actually not rushing. They really aren't. They see some things too, and they may love and really care about who they're with. I don't know who they're talking to. They got some deep feelings, but don't worry. You know, and that could even be where the person that they're talking to or the person they're with, whatever it looks like, ends up not liking you because they feel like you're trying to stop something, like you're almost cock blocking in a way, but you're not. You're just seeing something that that person who's with them don't want you to see. It's just, what's the rush, you know? And they may think because they have an intimate relationship with the person you care about that they're convincing that person, you know, this, and that. But actually that person sees some shit. Now, what are they going to do with that? I don't know. That's up to that person, but you can't worry about that at the end of the day. Moving forward. So, it could be where if a relationship is ending or is already ended, one party may have handled the situation very poorly instead of considering everyone involved. Or, I mean, it could be happening right now where somebody still is handling something poorly and not considering everyone involved, or just kind of like all the things. This may not even be something that's happening now. It may be the way you grew up. Maybe you wish that your parents themselves would have considered y'all or you by the way they handled things, or who they dated and invited into the family home, and how soon after things that they introduced you to people, or like literally there could be some like resentment there. And if it wasn't that, it could be like your partner, they might have went through this, you know, growing up or something, where it's like there's some sort of something connection to that here, unless it's something where you yourself are currently, like if a relationship is ending for others of you, or it might be, or it just did, where maybe you feel like a little bit, not even a little bit, very hurt by your person that they handled things the way that they did. Maybe they introduced a new person very quickly to the children, or they straight up just fucking abandoned. It's like, oh well, like I got my life here that I had, you know, and so bye-bye, you know, and just go all of a sudden, like, you know, like maybe someone here doesn't want to take care of children or a child they have here, but then they go have children over here, and it's like, what, am I chopped fucking suey? Am I chopped liver? What is this? You know, so that could have already happened. Or some of you may get with someone who experienced that, and there's some abandonment issues there, of course. Totally get that. Abso-fucking-lutely. And until somebody like sees that they have, you know, abandonment issues, either from a relationship they've been in before, or whether they did it themselves, or it was done to them, or both, or it just happened as they grew up or something, you know, it can have a weird way of repeating itself, really, or making us stay in relationships that are well due their expiry date, or shouldn't have even come together because we want love so badly, you know. I can relate to all this firsthand. I can relate to all this at different stages in my life. Yeah, Yeah, for sure. I'm right now. I'm the one where I'm the first thing I said, where I just choose to stay single for lots of reasons. This isn't the only one, but a big one is I'm not trying to answer to nobody. What do you want from me? You want me to answer to you? You want me to have to bring you with me places? Like, I'll have to give you just as much time as I give my children. That's not going to happen. Like, it's not going to happen. Absolutely not. And that's, at least I'm being honest. I don't see, there's nothing wrong with that. At least I'm being honest. What would be awful is if I get in a relationship with somebody and then I'm not telling them that, and then I don't give them the love and attention and affection, whatever that they want. They'd be very unhappy with me. So at least I'm real about it, you know? Yeah. So, where was I at? Yeah, so somebody might have left a relationship the wrong way, a little bit disrespectfully, where it's like, well, I only care about how I feel, you know, maybe even, because, you know, when you first get with someone too, you have that, they call it like the honeymoon phase, and we're like so happy with each other, so then we just spend less time with our kids, we spend less time, this, and that, and, you know, and sometimes that can, or that happened to us, and sometimes it can just make you kind of feel like, damn, I don't know, so that's something here, like, or maybe even it's like, well, we're so in love, so maybe you have where, or you experience this, you see this happening to somebody you know, where they'll introduce somebody they're with too soon to their children, and their children may not know to say anything, or maybe scared to, or, you know, just eventually over time it affects them where it's like, I didn't want to have a new stepdad or a new stepmom or I didn't want that. I wanted you. That's what I wanted. And that could be hard for people to hear, but that's some real shit, you know? And for some, it could be as clear as we just need to know when to set clear boundaries with people, and then talk about like the type of boundaries that we have. So for really not even some, all of us, I think, resonate with that, or we could, where before we even get involved with anybody, just setting those boundaries and being like, here, this is kind of like how I am, and things that, it's like, what is a relationship to you? You know what I mean? Like, what is a relationship to you? And that's only for people who are even interested in being in relationships, but because not all of us are, but some people, if they are, it would be wise to sit down and talk immediately, like, what is a relationship to you? Some people think it's going through others' phones and having to know where they're at 24/7, at 7, I can't speak, I'm here at 7-Eleven, 24/7, like, I want to know every in and out about you. And then some, it's kind of like, look, we still have like our own privacy. I would never do that. It just depends, because everybody's different, really. Everybody's different. And so that would be a good thing to know up front, until we like go way too far down the line and we're already invested and involved in things like that, you know? So yeah. You know, what ends up being the kicker is when, you know, we allow something for a while because we don't see it in ourselves that we do it in relationships, and then we start seeing it happen to our kids as they age and grow up and they get in relationships, and you're thinking, oh my God, like, because it's happening on the outside of you, and so you could see it better, and you're like, oh my God, I did that very thing, or I allowed that to happen. I always felt like I had to be treated this way, and that's what love was, and now I would never want my kid to have somebody like that. And doesn't mean that anybody's with someone bad here, it's just people have different ways of being, and then sometimes there's different traumas and stuff we've had, and until we recognize that and get the help that we need on an individual basis for that, you know, it can tell off in our relationships and our insecurities and things. And so sometimes we can fashion that for people before us, and we don't even realize we do it. And then we get upset later when we see people we care about, family, friends, children, and they go through it, and we just want to tell them, but it's like, damn, nobody could tell us. You know, nobody could tell us. Katana, what is Katana? Is that from Mortal Kombat? Katana, because I'm hearing nobody could tell us, but Patel, Patel, Patel. That's a last name. Patel. I also hear Mattel or Motel, but Mattel, And Mattel is like Barbie, right? Or something like that. Mattel. I don't know. What was it I just said? I hate when that happens. Katana. Katana. Oh, katana is a Japanese sword. Oh, it's spelled different. Katana and kitana. Kitana wins. Fight. Mortal Kombat. Not for everybody, but for some people here, there could be a connection to martial arts or art, period. Or military. I see martial. Martial arts. Military. Art. Yeah. Katana and kitana. Should I title that this? That's kind of not even the whole message, but I really like that. Katana wins. Fight. Right? Is that what they say? Or not katana wins fight, it's just katana wins. Katana fights with steel fans. Whatever happened to Mortal Kombat? Is that like still a thing? Hold on, guys. I don't know why I'm getting stuck on this. It's got to be something for somebody watching. It's got to be very relevant. Katana. What was Katana's power? She can use her fans as both a projectile and a melee weapon. I probably butchered that. As well as the ability to create large and small tornadoes with her wind magic. She expresses her magic with her war fans. She also has the ability to teleport long and short distances and somewhat has flight to an extent. Why am I getting into this? I don't know. Something about katana. Katana or Kiana. Katana. Alright, well, we'll leave it there. I don't want to keep going on it, but that's just like really, I can't stop fighting. Yeah. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Katana wins. Maybe I'll title it that just because I like it. Katana wins. Or Love Lockdown. Let's do Love Lockdown because that's really what it's about. Love Lockdown. But ultimately, Katana wins. I can't stop. I don't know what it is with that. It's not for everybody. Video games? Like video games, playing video games. I'm going to leave it there because I'll keep going. I will rack my brain and really there's no way of me even knowing what it means. It's up to you and who's watching this if it's going to resonate for you. I don't know. All right, guys. Thank you for being here with me and I'll talk to you later. Bye.